per 9000's game room.
Almost everyone knows that there were some amazing Disney games back in the old days. During the 8-bit days, almost everything Disney related came from one studio, and that was Capcom. They gave us the excellent platforming masterpiece DuckTales, the fun Mega Man style Darkwing Duck game, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and then moving on to the SNES they gave us Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse, the SNES version of Aladdin, Goof Troop. Eventually though, when Capcom's exclusivity contract for Disney games on Nintendo systems came to an end, Disney games began to come out which were developed and published by different studios. So today I'm looking at one of those to see how it holds up. Obviously, as you can see in the background, the game I'm talking about today is Beauty and the Beast. Now, it's important for me to say that this film is kind of important to me. It was one of my mum's favourite Disney films. She would frequently put it on, and every time I see it now or hear even a bit of a tune from it, I can't help but think of her. When she first passed away, that made this film very hard to watch, but now I can put it on and just smile because it reminds me of her. I watched it so much with her that I know the music and the lines far more than any adult male really should. So with that said, I'm either going to be biased because of my love for the film, or as sometimes happens, I'm going to be one hell of a picky git and expect miracles from this game because of the name and license attached to it. The game was programmed by Probe Software, who started out producing games in the days of the Spectrum and Commodore 64. They no longer exist today. They were brought up by Acclaim and became Acclaim Cheltenham. They were a British video game studio located in Croydon, but they died when Acclaim declared bankruptcy in 2004. Probe was most famously responsible for developing Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2 for the Sega Mega Drive, and then Extreme G and Extreme G2 for the Nintendo 64. They were also well known for successfully licensed games such as Die Hard Trilogy and Alien Trilogy. All of these are games I have played and more importantly enjoyed, so going into this I was hoping Beauty and the Beast would be yet another example of them doing the almost impossible and producing a good licensed game. Starting with the intro to the game, the story is told mostly in static images. They are very fitting and combined with the excellent 16-bit rendition of a piece of the film's music, well, it really sets things off well. The music is actually this game's biggest strong point. Pretty much all of it is based on songs from the film. It's like the lyrics have been stripped away and then the raw melodies have been recreated in a MIDI format and then remixed slightly to fit the needs of the game. Sometimes this is a case of making them a little bit more repetitive so they can easily be looped without it becoming too obvious. The game's soundtrack is easily up there with anything that Capcom did musically. Unfortunately, I don't think anything else here lives up to the music. The graphics are decent, the main character sprite and the sprites for the important characters are all well done. The backgrounds seem to have a fair amount of layers, however they have a very cut and paste feel about them. If the gameplay was amazing, this wouldn't be an issue. In fact, nothing presentation wise is an issue with this game. It has the music you want, it has the graphics that you would be more than satisfied with. Where this game really falls flat on its behind is in the gameplay department. Story wise, Beauty and the Beast has you playing as the Beast. The intro tells the story well. At the beginning you see Belle run off into the depths of your dangerous castle, which seems to be filled with bats, rats, evil candles and other things that clearly want to kill you. So yeah, it's changed things a bit from the film, as Beast Castle was never filled with generic video game lower caste baddies. But you can see why it is here. The problem is that despite how powerful and impressive the Beast is supposed to be, he can so easily be killed by one or two bats. The main villain here though is Beast's bad controls. For a start, there's some pretty serious lag between when you press the buttons on your controller and when Beast actually does what you've told him to do. You can run, you can jump, and you can slash, and you can roar, which doesn't actually seem like a bad moveset for this type of game. The issue here though is that you need to sort of decide to do something 2 seconds before it actually needs doing in order to hit your enemies or make the right jump. Sure, you adjust to this a little bit as you go along, but with the enemies being faster than you, basically you end up having to work out where things are and then think about it far more than you should need to. Where are they going to be? When do I need to react in order to take the delay into account to do the successful thing? It's infuriating. When you're hit or you fail to do what you were trying to do, you always want to blame the game and its awful lag and overpowered minions. In short, this game is just not very fun. I looked at a few review scores for this game from back in the day, around the point of its release, and I couldn't believe how wildly different some of the scores happened to be. One German magazine gave it an amazingly bad 35%, yet there was an American magazine which scored this game at 90%. It's hard to believe that they were both playing the same game. In fact, it's hard to imagine anyone giving this game anything approaching 90%. I personally would score this game 4 out of 10, and it only gets that score because of its soundtrack. Knock that soundtrack out of here, I'd probably drop it to a 3. I would recommend that unless you're a massive fan of the film and you feel the need to try this game, that you just leave it be. If you feel you need to get your hands on a cart though, well, an English cart-only version seems to go for between 14 to 18 quid. The cheapest import cart I could see was a Japanese one, going for around 7 quid. This is definitely a case of you being much better off just spending the money on getting a nice Blu-ray of the film. I'm sure a Blu-ray of the film could be got second-hand for about 7 quid. And it would be infinitely more magical, more enjoyable, and provide you far more fun and pleasure than this game could ever hope to. Okay, that's Kerr9000 signing off, saying keep on gaming.